At around 9:15 a.m. this morning, a man who NBC has identified as Ricky Walter Schiffer entered the Cincinnati, Ohio FBI field office and fired a nail gun at law enforcement personnel. We aren't exactly clear on the order of these next immediate events, but at the field office, Schiffer brandished an AR-15 style rifle. An alarm was set off. FBI agents responded to the attack, and Schiffer fled in his car. He drove northeast on the interstate, where he was spotted by a state trooper at about 9:37 a.m. The trooper tried to initiate a traffic stop, but Schiffer fled, and during the pursuit, he fired his weapon at the troopers. At about 9:53 a.m., Schiffer stopped his vehicle here in a rural area of Clinton County, and he exchanged gunfire with troopers as he got out of his car. That led to an hours-long standoff in a cornfield. Troopers say they tried to negotiate. They attempted to capture Schiffer with less than lethal force. In the end, they shot him. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Earlier today, there was speculation and fear that this attack may have been motivated by the dangerous far-right response to the FBI search of former President Donald Trump's personal residence at Mar-a-Lago. And tonight, there are new indications that that may in fact be the case. NBC News has confirmed that Schiffer was at the Capitol riot on January 6th, but it was his actions in recent days that are most unsettling. The day after the raid on Mar-a-Lago, Schiffer took to Trump's social media network, Truth Social it's called, and he posted a tirade calling for violence. I'm not going to repeat the whole thing here because it doesn't deserve to be amplified, but it did include things like, quote, "We must not tolerate this one," and calling for people to arm themselves and be ready for combat. Then, in response to a reply to that post, which asked Schiffer if he was advocating for terrorism, he responded that users should kill FBI agents on sight. In response to another user, Schiffer replied, "You're a fool if you think there's a nonviolent solution." And after another user responded that his photo and info had been forwarded to the FBI, Schiffer responded, "Bring them on." Then today at 9:29 a.m., directly after the attack on the FBI field office, Schiffer posted this, quote, "Well, I thought I had a way through the bulletproof glass, and I didn't. If you don't hear from me, it's true. I tried attacking the FBI, and it'll mean either I was taken off the internet, the FBI got me, or they sent the regular cops." And it just stops there, mid-sentence. Luckily, no one but Schiffer was hurt today. NBC's Ben Collins was part of the team that confirmed the suspect's identity for NBC and dug up his social media post tonight. He's been following that story all day. Ben, amazing. You've been looking around some dark parts of the internet. I don't even know how to describe this story, but this is a guy who was fairly actively responding to the right-wing response to the search. Yeah. There's been a right-wing response that said this was illegitimate, and the FBI needs to explain itself. And the Department of Justice did, and this guy seems to have decided to handle it on its own.
Yeah, Ali, I want to say, the very dark parts of the internet that I go on, the neo-Nazi parts of the internet, they don't really care about this that much. But the parts that are Trump-obsessed, like truly obsessed with Donald Trump, those are the people right now who are the most angry. And that's what you saw today. For example, I want to say on May 7th, this is what Ricky Schiffer posted in response to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Congresswoman Greene, they got away with fixing the election in plain sight. It's over. The next step is the one we used in 1775.
Wow.
So he was thinking like this for a while. And then this search of Mar-a-Lago happened. And he said, this is the end of it. He said, we must not tolerate this one. That's what he said 2 days ago. And that's what led to this entire thing. So my worry is that this is not on the darkest parts of the internet. Right. I know those places. I know where the neo-Nazis hang out. I know their telegrams. I know all that stuff. This is on the parts that are obsessed with Donald Trump. These are your neighbors. These are the people down the street who are convinced, by the way, that the IRS hiring 87,000 new agents, that's a secret ploy for people to come and take your guns. And they're going to come any day now. So you better get armed. That's what they think.
He had posted, again, we've not repeated all of it, but you've written about it. He had posted for people to get to the gun shops and the pawn shops as soon as they can to be armed. I mean, this was real talk about war. It wasn't even talk. And there's been civil war talk in the last couple of days. And people like me think that's nonsense. But the fans are being flamed in fairly mainstream conservative media about the FBI, about the Justice Department, about witch hunts. And this is where it can end up.
Well, that's the thing here. All of these people that perform these attacks, they all think they're kicking something off. They think that they are the guy starting the battle. But then they're abandoned by their own people. Already on these forums that he attended, they're saying, oh, this is a false flag. This was really Antifa. This was the FBI setting things up. Isn't it a coincidence that only he died here? That sort of thing. Even though there are months and years worth of posts, this guy was at the Capitol on January 6th. He told people in recent months to go join your local Proud Boys because those people know what they're doing for the revolution. They all think they're kicking something off, but the actual followers, they don't want to leave the house. They just want to support Donald Trump from home. And when people start to take it as seriously as you hear it on Fox News or as you hear it on those YouTube channels where they say this is war all of a sudden, they immediately abandon them.
That's amazing that a guy went to an FBI office and tried to shoot his way into it. Ben, thanks for your coverage. It's important, as always. Ben Collins is a senior reporter at NBC News.